from this situation. And I can tell you, after elections of January 15th, my prediction, and I request you invite us here, NRM is going to be number one. The second one is going to be independent. Because the country still knows that people elect the leaders basing on their merits. Individual merit hangover is still around. So it becomes very difficult to expect democracy where there are no Democrats. That's the biggest challenge. Because when you look into all the parties around now, all what you're seeing as violence or what came from parties themselves. So if there were no democracy in the parties, why do you expect there is going to be democracy at the national level? All parties, fights, cheating. So if we don't have Democrats, then what do you expect? There is a misconception by some quarters of society that when there is election, government goes on leave. Since we are candidates, therefore, we shall do as we wish. They forget that 2021 May up 2026 May, the state of Uganda, the government of Uganda, the state of Uganda received the government, NRM government, and gave them responsibility to make sure the state does not collapse for 5 years. And you know, there are many attempts that have happened to destabilize Uganda. Like me, I work with the president. Our biggest mandate is to make sure you can do whatever you want to do, but the state will remain operational. That's why the state gives government instruments to keep the state alive. And among these instruments, one of them is executive. Under executive, you have the police, you have the army, you have DPP, you have prisons. All these are not luxury issues. They are there to make sure that the state of Uganda remains standing. Now, when you have a misconception of some sections of society who believe that once I have been nominated and I'm a candidate, therefore I'm supposed to play the way I want. Police has 4 responsibilities according to the Constitution and the Police Act. 1 is to protect property and lives.
Yes.
2,
you have made very fundamental statements.
Yes.
And some of them are actually pointing at somebody who has been nominated. So conclude that. I want to come back.
2 is to preserve law and order. 3 is to detect to detect and prevent crime. And the other one is to cooperate with civilian authority and other security agencies to make sure there is peace. And the government allocates resources to intelligence services every year to make sure that by the time Richard wakes up in the morning, they monitor you. Where have you traveled? Whom have you talked with? What have you eaten? And what are you planning? And once there are signals, we call them early warning signals, indicating that there is likely to be a breach of peace, police is mandated to do the following. 1, it can say, Mr. Richard, today you are not going to get out. They call it preventive arrest. 2, Mr. Richard, where you are likely to breach peace. They can pick you and take you to police. 3, they can disperse you using tear gas. And the last resort, they can disable you, depending on the circumstance. That's why it is not called police charity. It is called police force, depending on the circumstance.
Now,
Yes?
you have heard that there is every reason to beat him.
It is very unfortunate that, well, our topic, turn of events, you have a question mark on it, why the escalation in election violence. To begin with, yes, it may seem like a sharp turn from a relatively calm earlier campaign to a surge of, the opposition being beaten, state-backed brutality and, very partisan actions against people that have come out to announce their bid for leadership. It is unfortunate how he sounds, but this, for me, is not even random. What we call a sharp turn in events, it was peaceful. It was never peaceful. It's how it's prepared to reflect to onlookers that maybe they are trying to do something. But the truth is that this isn't random. This is a pattern of the NRM and the organization or state or government that he is praising and asserting how they see things. I would like to think that and to think and even assert that this is it has been a pattern to suppress dissent. They are out to intimidate ahead of time. They are out to do what has been done, repeat the cycle, keep the cycle going. Unfortunately, they refuse to learn that times change. You might suppress what has changed. We have, for example, a change in, you see the grouping, the youngest people, the biggest now, the bigger side of the populace is those below 30 years.
So?
And they may not necessarily see or think things as 87-year-olds that are our fathers and grandfathers. And whether we like it or not, change does happen. Change does happen beginning with our bodies. Change does happen with our thinking. Change does happen with the way things are done. The way things were done in 1940 by my grandfather is not the way things are done, were done in 1960. It's not the way things will be done in 2025. There is going to be an appreciation of the line that change does happen. Whether you want to welcome it, whether you want to go about it the civil way, whether you choose to keep it in the intimidation kind of thing, state is this, police must be this, that's why it's called the force. Things are going to change and we can have a police service someday, not far from now. We can have a police service that's not misrepresented by him, asserting only those things that are cut out to instill fear. Police should serve and protect us. Protect Ugandans and what's good for Ugandans. Not only what he mentions, they have the right to disable you, they have the right to disperse. Why disperse? The Constitution is talking of people having the right to converge and talk matters that relate to their day-to-day living. So for me, this is not a random thing. It's a pattern of the NRM. It's a pattern of as many other draconian way of leadership around the continent. But we will not insist on buying the fear each time. We shall hope on change that we echo in voices that are non-violent, with reasoning that's backed by what we may call a constitution today. What has happened with pushing around the opposition, it indeed mirrors the past cycles. Look at 2021, after elections, CSOs being closed, organizations that talk rights and what, some being told go away. We have the Uganda Human Rights Commission. All of this to them is usually preparation. When you close 2021 election and the first acts are to tell some of these organizations, some from the international community, you go away, you can't do this, you can't get funded and stuff. It's preparation for another 5 years of trying to put a lead over voices of dissent, trying to put a lead over voices that say we could do better here, we could have a police service and not necessarily a force that should break people's legs for their belief politically, for different thoughts. So the suppression, as we see it, not just against those he calls those that are aspiring for leadership like me, but suppression also against journalists, media houses, or some are under serious attack, media suppression, which all risks broader unrest. If my senior brothers and fathers like leader Yoweri Kaguta Museveni do not really sit to appreciate the fact that things change. Things change starting with their youthful bodies. They come into the 40s, they are in 60s, and now some of them wish to even announce less years than they truly have. So things change, and certainly things will change for Uganda. It doesn't necessarily have to mirror or echo violence like he's bringing it out. Police will break your legs, police will disperse you, police will tear gas you. Change can happen without the cost that this region, especially Buganda, suffered in the 80s when the ruling government today came into power, did whatever they did to come into power. Change can come without, having places set aside, Ruero Triangle, skulls buried here. Change indeed can come from the hope we all try to nurture and preach. I think that EC should take very serious note of leaders like Bamwine here, that come here to only look at the side of force. EC tries to echo peace, but enforcement completely lacks and lags. We have police statements, of course, security statements from police and army. They are not any different from Mr. Bamwine's. For them, they promise crackdowns. They promise the worst. Earlier, before coming here, between 7 and 8, I was at another program, a radio program, another leader, I don't have the name offhand anymore. He really insisted on camera, well, maybe it wasn't camera, this was radio, but a voice going out to the nation. A senior man is telling people, you will be killed, your children will be killed. What kind of society should this be? The ones you're issuing these threats at are your children and grandchildren. The president likes to associate with the young, calling them Gen Zs for general. Why associate with them when you need to use them, to act like you're so close? And in actual sense, all your agents are going around and scaring these young people. It's quite unfortunate and absurd, but people like me will echo a voice that these escalations thrive on silence. Your silence, the other person's silence, helps this to grow. It's like the water that is helping this plant of intimidations and insistence on having what we had 80 years ago. It's what should work for the 70% youth and unemployed ones at that, largely unemployed ones. That suppression, intimidation, hide in the bush and scare them where you don't have bushes anymore, parade these outdated vehicles that they pick everywhere. When you go around the city today, I see trucks that I think first world society has discarded. When they are discarded, they are picked around to be paraded on the way from Kawempe, from Tinda, so that the mind that sees that has that to digest between now and January 15.
So for you.
So for me, I'm saying say no to silence. The silence is what waters this intimidation. If the Constitution has said that Ugandans shall go into elections 5 years and 5 years after, and you indeed put in people's hard-earned taxes to support this exercise. But while at the exercise, there is rhetoric by EC, it shall be free and fair, while asserting nothing to keep this free and fair, while treating given parties with giving different treatment to the different groupings that are vying or contesting. We saw.
So these are the things, because we will come substantively to the EC. We will come to the role of the EC. But you know, in the introduction, you know, we were like trying to ask why is this happening? I can see you have.
This is happening so that they prepare on time.
Yes, this is a pattern.
They want to prepare your minds for fear on time. Because I'm giving you just if I give you just an example of just this evening alone. A few hours ago, I'm sitting with somebody that sounds, he tried to, his is a bit sanitized. The person I sat with at a prior program insisted on killing people, saying it direct and you will be killed. We walk out of the interview outside in the corridor and he's insisting. Death and violence has become so much part of some of our elders here that it's not easy to know how a society can be driven on such motivation. What motivates people is Fred, intimidating and scaring others.
Fred, first of all, you have been on this program now, cast as intimidator in chief, force, you know, disable, but also, also, and this is important, I think, to discuss, that this is scientific. The investment in violence is deliberate, is planned, is well thought out, and is calculated to deliver a certain outcome of the election. What is your take on that?
In English, there is a word they call intellectual dishonesty. So I have heard my sister speaking, and when you're introducing us, you seemed to be knowing her. But in her presentation, it's as if she has landed from the Mars.
Why?
Because she's not talking about Uganda.
She's a candidate for Kampala.
She's talking about...
Duly nominated, by the way.
Yes, but she's not talking about Uganda of ours. She's talking about a fictitious Uganda. Because when I see her age, at least I'm sure if she was bothering, she must be aware that this government of NRM is number 9. They were first 8. And I thought she would have known what could have happened to those ones. And what has this one done differently? The NRM government has negotiated with 28 fighting groups and concluded them, apart from COIN and ADF. The rest have been concluded under negotiation. And the leaders of those groups are part of this government now, in senior positions. I thought she was aware. Two, maybe she didn't know the person she's appearing on the panel with. I'm a commissioner in the President's office.
I actually know you.
And my responsibility is to supervise RDCs. And RDCs are district security chairpersons. Now, this is an arm of government that reports to the National Security Council. EC, including tomorrow, is going to be the 6th engagement with candidates and their agents. And unfortunately,
presidential candidates.
Yes. And unfortunately, whatever is agreed in the meeting, the story is different. Now,
well, explain that a little bit more.
I'm going to be
yes. That what they agree.
Yes.
The story is different.
I'm going to be accused for being honest, and I have no apologies for that. Completely, no apologies, because in her talking, I expected her to say the cause of this is this. But you have heard her speaking, we shall raise the voice, and unfortunately she's referring to the youth. Thinking that the youth of Uganda are dogmatic supporters.
I am mother to these youth.
I hope you can take the cool, because that's why I was writing. Last week, one of the presidential candidates declared in the Kawempe here that we are rebels from now on. And he says, all of you, I'm commanding you to work like rebels and start operations as rebels. And I'm not going to give any other further announcement. Go and form gangs. Last week in Kawempe here. Richard, I know you are schooled.
No, I just want to.
Last week.
I just want to tackle that one.
Yes.
That there is a presidential candidate who told the people.
Yes.
To go and form gangs.
Gangs.
Okay.
Kuva olwaleero tuli bayekera mutambule kiyekera mukole ebitendo by'ekiyekera mugende muzimbe gaali tewakyali okuduumira kulala. I expected a mother like her to be concerned and responsible. As you invited us here, including you, there are supporters there outside who say, since Bamwine has spoken, it is that one. You know, in the Bible, I think it's in the book of James, it says a tongue is like a matchbox. Very small, but it can destroy a forest. Now, these innocent youth, as she was referring, since they have got that directive from a presidential candidate, in your own thinking as a schooled person, do you think there is any sane government in the world that is going to fold its hands since somebody has directed, therefore we should say, pack our bags? There is another person, I will mention the name because I have the recordings here, Mr. Senyoni. He said, once we capture power, anybody who has worked with Museveni, who has supported Museveni, must go to jail. Now, let me confess really, I'm at a family TV.
Because you see, you are now a candidate for jail.
Yes. however stupid I may be, now that I have already been promised jail, can I really hand myself there?
And let's not
Is that
try,
possible?
let's not try to
No, no, no.
imply that
You're
I
right,
sit
you're
here
right,
to
you're right.
represent
No, you're right.
the person you mentioned in
You're right,
Kawempe
you're right.
or Senyo Yi.
You're right.
I
You're right.
don't sit here to
Okay.
represent
Yes.
them.
So let's put a disclaimer that Narongo,
Yeah, exactly.
seated in studio
Yes.
tonight,
Yes.
Yes.
is a PFF.
But
Thank
I've
you.
not had her.
Is not in any way politically associated.
But
with
I've
those
not had
speakers.
her condemning the dangers.
We are
that are
calling all
likely
of
to
it
come out.
violence. If someone is
That are likely to
preaching
come out.
violence in
And I'm
Kawempe,
telling you, that's why I was using some sections of society. I'm telling you that some youth, you are giving them poison. Go and confront security. What's going to happen? Should I also sugarcoat and say the police of Uganda is police charity, not police force? Should I also
it should
sugarcoat
be a
that?
service.
Now, that's why these engagements the Electoral Commission normally has, it has IGP in that meeting. And they agree that wherever you are going to go, you should agree on the route march. When you go to the district security committee sits with these agents and candidates to agree on how they are going to move. As they move out of this meeting, they say, we cannot take that route.
Okay,
When they have already agreed.
Two things on that
Now.
one. No, two things on that one. Let me do my moderating role. So first, this has been a cry, and we have seen it on all media, that the presidential candidate for the NRM is given the straight routes. The opposition candidate, particularly the one who has who attracts crowds, who is the NUP one, is taken through. I have seen actually clips of them pushing cars through very muddy roads. Where approaching that town there was a tarmac. Also, the police. It's the police that has said no processions.
That is easy.
Realistically,
That is easy.
realistically,
Welcomes the people in the streets of
can there
Mbagara.
be a presidential candidate? No, let's go from presidential. A candidate of an MP who has support in me and you, we know that secretary, and reaches with where, and there is no procession. And so in that case, that some of the directives that are given are actually given to disadvantage
The opposition.
Now, in the Uganda,
Keep it in a
they have a
little.
proverb.
If you had it, you'd play it for him.
But
You
he's
see,
a
they miss
moderator.
these things.
A moderator has asked a question. Can I respond? In Uganda, they have a proverb. You have been overcharged in the market where you are going to buy something. Now we are on the road complaining. These engagements EC normally holds with them. These engagements the District Security Committee holds is to agree on what is best possible. Richard, have you not seen Honorable Chagulanyi stopping in the middle of the road? Because as I told you from the beginning, much as we have campaigns, other people are not involved. There's somebody who's coming to Family TV to work, there's somebody going to the market, there's another one who's going to school. This is a public road. Much as you have your rights, but your rights should not infringe on your neighbor's rights. At least I know some bit of law. That's why I was a bit disappointed with Naro when I peeled out the responsibilities of police. I wanted her to say it is not true in the Constitution. Now, if you know it is not true, why do you lure the youth to break the law? And I cannot not go here to deceive you that when they break the law, then we shall call the Church of Uganda with the Bible to come and pray. Yes, they will pray in the church, but in the field there is somebody who is supposed to protect, to provide law and order. There is somebody who is supposed to protect law and life and property. Did you say policeman who was knocked yesterday?
Actually, Narongo says those people are partisan. This police is very
Let me take
partisan.
Then how do we handle it? We confront it?
Yeah,
So you are choosing the youth should go and confront that police.
so
And me, I'm telling you, the youth Narongo that is referring to, that if you go to confront security agencies, it is not going to be rosy.
Narongo,
Let me first finish. Let me first finish this. Because we have said Narongo is not involved. The man said, the youth of Uganda should imitate what happened in Tanzania, should imitate what happened in Kenya, should imitate what has happened in Nepal, Cameroon. Really? Why are security agencies paid? And me, I'm asking a question.
And not stop people from expressing themselves.
No,
It's not
they
what
should. We should. But I have a responsibility, well, first of all, as a leader, two, as a security administrator, and three, as a parent. I have children. I was also a youth at some stage. I know how.
very active one.
Yes. I know people who can take that message and go and hold people with guns, take them on. And what is like to come out will be, we have a country called Sudan. Sudan in Khartoum, like this Kampala road, the government forces on the other side and the rapid support is on the other side.
And some analysts say it is because the ones who are governing actually governed very terribly badly.
So do we have,
That led to that situation.
so do you want a Sudan?
No one.
Do you want a Somalia?
No one wants a Somalia.
Do you want a
No one-
Libya?
But no one.
but no one
wants a
also
terribly
wants
That's
a terribly
why.
governed
Because
society.
This is the reason. That if you govern badly, if you are looting people's resources, like the allegations are made, if you are violating their rights, you are not preventing Sudan.
If you are turning
That's why.
if you are turning
That's why
a
we are
national
that's why we are-
police
that's why we are
service
different.
into a partisan
That's why we're
tool
different.
to break legs
That's,
and
that's why we are different. We have what is called National Consultative Forum. I hope you have heard about it. That's a forum that brings all political parties in Uganda to one sinking group. That one is there. That if there are those who feel things are not moving on right in political parties, you have a desk. There's also another one called iPod.
Yeah, no, that
It
one,
is also there.
that one has been.
Now we have an
That one
East.
has been described as a money sharing.
Now we
Yes.
now we have
Do
now we
our
have
viewers
now we have our
deserve
EC. Now we have
do
our
our
EC.
viewers
Our
deserve
EC
to
is saying,
forego their sleep and keep listening
and
to this
EC is
acted
saying,
out
EC
chat?
is saying, if there is a disagreement or there is a way we have not handled well, please come and we discuss. And lastly, at least if there are those areas have failed, we have the judiciary here as an arbiter, and many times opposition has taken to government court and won very many times. So what are we trying to say? Uganda is a big country for all of us, regardless of our tribe or political parties. But can we have a constructive engagement? Can we have a positive message to the country? Because I wish to have that, to get that one from Narongo.
And that's why I want you to give her these few minutes before we go for a break. And then even when we come back from break, she will continue on that. Narongo.
For one, I think that our viewers deserve better than a very sanitized, calm discussion here and total disregard of what's actually happening on the ground. When he speaks of the police and their responsibility, nobody is even disputing that part of that is what police can do when what happens. We have seen how partisanly police does act sometimes. For example, the group of the yellow group was in Mbarara. They were where again? Kashari. The pictures I see here, they are using the roads. EC has said you will not campaign in the middle of the roads, you will not go where people are working. But entire streets are filled with yellow, and a field that has the ones that have said I'm not here to represent tonight, they are in a field, and we are seeing them being dispersed and tear gassed from within a field, when the ones filling up an entire street are free to chant their NRM songs and go. So for me, I'm thinking that if matters are as serious as they are, let our discussion also echo this seriousness. We cannot sit here to start deceiving Ugandans when what they are seeing is very different from the picture you're trying to paint. You give them a leader who went and an aspirant who said people should emulate what's in Tanzania and wherever. I would like to leave a benefit, a doubt. Should we take what you're quoting for the truth? I do not know.
I have the whole video here.
I heard you talk about
so you have not heard about
Senyonyi. I'm not here to represent him. His views are his. But I did see something that was cut into half. Something he said was cut. And a bit of it has been circulating. And the man came out to correct and said, brought the entire video. But again, propaganda. This is part of the tools. It's a big tool of what's used to keep misinforming, to create the fear. You see, he has said this. Every leader in NRM will be imprisoned. This will scare, of course, the child to NRM people. We are all their children. It is propaganda, premeditated, well arranged. I do not think, I wasn't where he said this current LOP, I do not think that would come out of his mouth. And I have seen the full video of what he was trying to say. It has a very different meaning from what he asserts. I'm not here to defend him, nevertheless. I'm PFF.
Yes.
We are totally believing in change that is non-violent. We are believing in delivering governance that promotes the power of every region to use their resources in a manner that develops those regions before, even being scattered elsewhere in the country.
Okay, so let's go for a break now. When we come back, you will continue pursuing. But I also want us to commission its role, its abilities or lack of abilities, its interventions, and what can be expected, what can be achieved, particularly in this violence that has happened. Does it have a role? Is it playing that role? But that's after the break. Don't go away. We are taking a few minutes, and we hope you'll keep with us so that we can look at this, the violence that has happened, especially most recently, as opposed to a larger part of the election process, where we saw a lot of peaceful goings on, and examine who should be doing what or who is not doing what. Don't go away.
Thank you very much for staying with us. The Ballot 2026 Church of Uganda Family TV. And in the last hour, we were looking at the escalating violence around the campaign process, assessing why. Has there been a turn of events, as some of the analysts see it, from what was largely a peaceful, calm, issue-focused campaign to now one which is talking about violence, which is talking about, mobilizing different sections of the population, throwing stones, tear gas, and some deaths, shootings. Like, what is it that is happening? And my guests, Nalongo Nana, says largely that this is planned, this is choreographed, this is a pattern, it's not the first time, it's not surprising, and it's deliberate to deliver a certain election outcome. And the other colleague in studio, Fred Bamwine, Commissioner in the Office of the President. I need to say that Nalongo is vying for the Kampala women's seat on the PFF ticket. And then the colleague is Fred Bamwine on the other side, saying, well, this is driven by some of the sentiments as expressed on public rallies by particular opposition leaders. Now, the Electoral Commission is supposed to be the referee in this. It is supposed to be the umpire. Is supposed to be the arbiter. And the Electoral Commission has issued statements previously, has convened the players, particularly the presidential candidates or their agents, to come and discuss the approach to this, but also when issues arise, to discuss how to resolve them. Now, a lot of the people who will be referring to the Electoral Commission tend to describe it as an institution that has no teeth, that even where violations happen, they are unable to act decisively. The other ones actually have accused it of being partisan. We have had leaders of political groups and civic groups accusing it of being partisan. While on the other hand, there are those who insist that the Electoral Commission is working within its mandate and it is lacking the support of the other government institutions which should be working to help it implement its decisions. Nalongo, you have been part of electoral processes previously. Now you are directly involved in the electoral process itself. If you look at the presidential elections processes and you own the parliamentary and other offices, where would you place so far the conduct of the Electoral Commission?
The Electoral Commission, whose mission everywhere on paper, when the boss talks, the mission is to take us through a fair process for a fair outcome, for a peaceful one. While this is what they call for, we see gaps when it comes to enforcing the laws that they are putting forward. They have, for example, given me the liberty to be in Kampala Central starting tomorrow, 4th to this date, to 9th, Nalongo Central. You can be there, you can talk to the people. We can bet 9 out of 10. If I wake up tomorrow and come to maybe Central Police there, and try to talk to anybody, including the officers or any other voters that may be in there, it may end in an arrest. So it is very absurd that very serious matters are taken very lightly. The matters sound very serious on paper. The matters sound very serious in the mission and vision of EC. When it comes to seeing through that these matters go as should, they really either relax or they fear to act, or they act in a manner that should get them applauded by a certain boss, and this is very, very sad. You look at the guidelines as per given: do not campaign in the street, do not cover the street. NRM fills the street, and you'll never see the boss of EC come out to condemn that. And what message does this send to the populace? This sends a message that EC itself is partisan. EC itself have ebyana n'abaana. If EC saw NRM, for example, violating the guidelines, and they stood and called them out and guided them to do better, who knows what the opposition why the opposition wouldn't do the same. But the EC watches as opposition voices of dissent get dragged and beaten and, suffering arbitrary arrests, disappearances, and it's business as usual to them. So for me, I'm thinking that the sooner EC force themselves to really go by the guidelines as they set them, the better for everyone. I will condemn violence on camera here as demanded by my senior brother here.
Requested.
Yes. I'm not even saying it because I earlier praised it. I earlier said violence, particularly by NRM or police against opposition, is wrong. It's not to say that any other form of violence perpetrated by any other people that are not NRM or police or security forces should be applauded. No. Violence, regardless of who it comes from, regardless of the perpetrator, is something we all must stand against. And as we stand against it, we don't stand, let's also not use a language that may, you see, intimidation also breeds even a worse situation. Fear breeds terror. For years, people have called for dialogue. SOS have spoken. We have spoken. We have called for, an understanding between leaders of this nation. And every 5 years, we only come out to prove that that has failed. We have called, for example, as human rights defenders, can the role of the army be separated from, entirely from our election? Can the army not take center stage of this election? Then you hear them saying, police are few in numbers, we are going to need the military to come and back up the police. While at that, EC is telling people you can vote, but you can't linger around the polling stations. Why all of this? The known distance that somebody should keep away from a polling station is now being narrowed to something else. You see, Biabakama coming out. Now, don't even peep there, don't stay there. It is, for me, it is absurd. It's all preparation to keep repeating the cycle over and over. Because we did it before, we will do it again. We shall even become more sophisticated this time because we beat them before November 2020. We can prepare to beat them again. This is not good. The people that might get beaten won't even necessarily be supporters of NRM or opposers of NRM. Violence takes on everybody in a very negative way. Let the security bodies, security organs, work without intimidating, guide without being partisan, let people be independent to do their job. Let bodies, let the judiciary, you don't have somebody in court. My leader, for example, Besige, is in prison for a year now. The days he's brought to court, he will come to court tomorrow. I want you to take keen interest on what the streets will look like. Military all over the place. The gates of the court are not accessible. There are people in uniform, masked mouths, choosing who can enter court and who can't. It is all a very bad picture. It is all a very bad picture. Everybody wants a peaceful Uganda. A peaceful Uganda does not have, we don't have to use the yardstick of, see what's in the Sudan? Is that what you want? No, it's not what we want. But again, we do not want a Uganda that's purportedly peaceful and in our common existence, day-to-day existence, we are not peaceful at all. Yes.
Mr. Bamwine, that this electoral commission is partisan. It is partisan on your side. It's not delivering on its mandate, it's just cheering you on.
But I want to call upon my sister. If you don't know, you can inquire. What is security supposed to be doing? And more so, intelligence service. The English have a saying that once bitten,
Twice shy.
the 8 governments I mentioned, they were corrupting 2 months. The government is very old with gray hair. 1 year, the government is very old. Really, me, I don't want to deceive. I accept blame for NRM to have stabilized Uganda for 40 years. That blame, I take it in good faith. Because it was not by miracle. There are some deliberate attempts and programs that are put in place to make sure that Uganda can be stable. And of course, they inconvenience people. I can assure you. If somebody has declared war and you pick the people he's recruiting to conduct the war, he's going to be happy. If my sister thinks she can lure the youth to come and break the law and security intercepts them are enough, she will not be happy. I normally warn people. These men and women in uniform, they are like us, they are from us. They are our children. You remember the late Ariong, who was killed here in Chukwu by a stone. Last election, I was with my DPC in Mukono. When the November riot started, we discussed in security meeting. My DPC said, we don't need to use tear gas to disperse these boys. They had broken off Bukerere Road. They lit fire this side and this side. Then you would first pay money there and you pass your vehicle in the middle. So the DPC convinced us that he can go and talk to them. This is a man who was commanding 800 armed people. As he had started talking like this, a brave youth picked a stone and hit his head. The man is commanding 800 armed people. And you are hitting him with a stone. Should I come here and deceive that they are going to get rosaries and gifts? And I'm trying to say, me, I have studied security, I have worked in security, and I'm a Ugandan and I'm a parent. Let us not incite our youth to go and confront security. And if we have misgivings that things are not going on right, there are avenues.
But the EC is on your side.
I'm coming. I wanted just
if there are avenues, one of them is the EC.
I just wanted to first clear that. Now, when we come to EC, and me, I think I'm not happy with their conduct. I'm a believer of a strong government myself, not the commissioner now, because the government I want is not here. I remember there was a man called Akabwai Besweri. I have never forgotten that man during the CA. By the powers given to me, I hereby disqualify Richard. I want to hear that statement coming out. If I was the chair, my friend Biawakama, I want to hear that statement because the law is there. I don't mind about which party you are talking about, as long as you have broken the law across the aisle. Be firm. But now he's talking. Now what should Dr. Kazimba Mugaru do? He's not a church. That is for church and mosques. But I have the law in my hands, and then the country is going in two frames. It's high time Electoral Commission, you stood your ground, read the laws as they are, and whoever crosses the line, first give a yellow card, second time give a red card, and give reasons why you have done it. Otherwise, this ping pong and massaging can take us into trouble. Somebody cannot declare war and then you say it is normal. No. 1985, Kampala had 8 fighting groups. Each here had a fighting group. These soldiers you are talking about, they are not disciplined. No, they are the same like the other ones. The only difference is that they have a strict code of conduct. Why do you tempt them? You throw stones and hit them, then they should say, okay, no. Please. That's what I said. It's difficult to expect a democracy where there are no Democrats. I don't expect a Democrat to declare war, throw stones at security agencies, and to defy electoral commission guidelines when you have been met severally. My sister, since she's a candidate, and you have declared her that she's a human rights activist.
Actually, she raised a point on that, and I think you are going to combine them. She said she's duly nominated. She has permission to go to Kampala Central. But if she went to talk to near the square or whatever, she would be hounded out.
That is the mistake. I think that's why I was coming. Uganda is not like a beehive. But I think even a beehive have some soldiers on the gate. Yes, you are a duly nominated candidate, but they are rejoicing in Kampala. There is Kampala State Council, which gives venues. There is the security of Kampala, KMP is here. There is the RCC of Kampala with his infrastructure. I expect you as a duly nominated candidate to submit yourself to authorities, but they normally meet you, I think. There is a returning officer for Kampala. Of course. Yes. My day is Kampala Central today. Mr. Returning Officer, what is the point? They regard you through. Then you agree where you're supposed to be, not conflict with the other candidates. And when you are advised that there is candidate A here, you can't be in the same area at the same time. No, it's my right. In Uganda, I know. I hope you're a driver. You drive. Don't we drive on the left?
We do.
Why don't you keep right? Isn't it your right?
To keep right?
Why don't you keep right? It's driving.
It is not your right to keep right.
So that's why there are rules and regulations to allow smooth running of society, so that everybody can enjoy those rights equally.
Yeah. And
There are structures in place.
and the rules are not being implemented,
And that's what I'm saying.
but those who should
Are
implement.
not applied.
That's what I'm saying.
Not applied even.
That's what I wanted to
They are
They
not
applied
even-
on one side.
Okay.
That's why I was saying, now as her as a new duly nominated person, who is a human rights defender, let her pen down, say to EC, Chairman Electoral Commission, these are the issues I found on the ground, and they are not favorable to either me or other candidates. Then you have an engagement. Me, fortunately, I belong to government. If you don't have an address of EC, I can help you, I can lead you.
I do.
Yes.
I used mine as an example that they
you
will
don't
tell
keep
you
this.
this.
When you keep it in your heart, you have not documented it, then you go and incite the public. That's anarchy. By the way, democracy without regulation, it is equal to anarchy. And that's why, if you are calling the youth to emulate Nepal, to emulate Tanzania, say, intelligence, one cross check.
Let me tell you, when I mean what I've already said. The youth of Nepal, the youth of Sudan, wherever, there was no one who made the timetable for them.
He was there. Sudan, I'm aware there was. Sudan, I am aware.
Yes, and that person is that dictator who mismanaged their economy.
Are they better off?
Who, no, before we go to bed, who mismanaged their economy, who rooted their future, who burnt their country. That one is the one who made that timetable. That is part of the argument that we did. That if you root the resources of a nation,
The prevailing
you have actually
circumstances.
burnt the future of its young
But
people.
Richard,
You have helped
Is
these youth.
that not true?
yes, Richard,
You have helped
make me
the
up
youth
on this.
You have
conclude.
fueled.
now I have understood now where the problem is. So you are part of the group who think that Africans got independence. From your arguments now, are you sure these violent actions, there is no foreign hand?
No, Fred.
Even here,
No, Fred. No, Fred. Again, we are going back to.
Yes.
We are going back to the classic.
yes,
We are going back to the classic surrendering
yes.
of sovereignty. We are going back to the basic surrendering of sovereignty.
And me, I'm saying you shouldn't.
That's what we all say actually. That because a foreign element has come to your home, that therefore for you, this wickedness already in your home, the rot that you have presided
be
over in
blamed.
your home, should then be ignored.
So you should
Because you should,
so you should bring the neighbor.
Your real strength is in cleaning the rot in your home.
So the
and I think that's what you do every day.
So the neighbor should come.
No,
And
the
give
neighbor
direction.
shouldn't come.
Yeah.
That you should prepare to keep the neighbor away.
Were you hearing her very well?
Haven't you
heard her complain?
That's where I'm taking you on.
I did listen
Is
to,
for you
for
to
example,
also accept
Yes.
that where the foreign hand actually works very well
Yes.
is because of the rot
the local rot.
in that home.
Maybe,
Domestic
maybe you have not picked me.
I was listening
I
to
said,
Madam
and I want to emphasize
Her
it.
Excellency
Yes.
I
Suluhu.
want to emphasize it. Even the government is not 100% perfect. No, there are mistakes. But I'm saying it is our responsibility, me and you, to sit and chat a way forward without resorting to violence.
Is there an
Unfortunately-
avenue for that? For
Unfortunately-
example,
Unfortunately, the framers of the Constitution were arrived at that.
Let's listen to
That's
the
why-
question.
yes,
Let's listen
my
to her.
question, he keeps referring to, and I talked of it also, dialogue and what, which is what we call for in activism. We sometimes act out work like the people that haven't been heard. You speak, and when you're not heard, you blow over. So for me, what
In
I'm
fact-
hearing from
in
him,
fact, President Museveni is a direct product of that.
of that, he was cheated, he blew over. So for me, what I'm saying,
don't try his
the
method?
avenue is the avenue for hearing these voices there, because you have emphasized on it, and that's what a lot of us want. I do promise you that I have not come into elective politics to indeed become a politician. Me, I cannot lie. I heard you say for you speak your truth. I speak my truth, and it's this truth that has got me sometimes in trouble, run-ins with the authority, like he mentioned as he was introducing me. I am not new to these run-ins. Yes, so is the avenue to speak out there in a country where when the youth at Makerere say we haven't had food, you take military to beat them into silence. When the Gen Zs go to parliament to say, look, speaker, corruption is hurting us. Our parents can't even educate us conclusively.
So what's your advice to them?
You bundle them up and send them to prison.
Was that the question?
My advice is...
Because you wanted to ask a question, I was responding.
I am asking, is there an avenue?
No, she has asked several questions actually during her delivery. But I am also letting her give it context. Because...
Can I get the question she's...
my question is...
No, there have been several questions.
Yes.
But I would like
he's insisting on talking things out nicely.
I would like Bamwine to allow you to talk.
But I was
She should not interrupt you.
I was
and you spoke for a very long time.
Should not interrupt
And as
you.
you speak, you try to turn this into something.
Is using the classic trick.
Yes, the
of
classic trick of interrupting me. Is there has there been any avenue in Uganda for the youth, or even the women, or even older people, to come out and channel their grievances without being beaten, without being silenced, without being arbitrarily arrested, without even being disappeared? Has such an avenue been there?
Now, I am a follower of Uganda's events, an active follower for time, since I grew up, and a participant at that. I don't want to ask a question to you, but you belong to a party called
People's Front for Freedom.
PFF. Do you have any memorandum, the National Consultative Forum, on your misgivings of what could be taking place? Because that's where you fall.
This party being as new as it is, having people that are not new to the opposition in Uganda, definitely has a constitution that we have come by. It is there. Don't think we have come as a group of people from the market to throw this and that. We are an organization.
Have you made your petition to National Consultative Forum that these are our concerns, they need to be addressed?
Fred.
Individuals in this party, have been in prison for speaking up.
If really any person, what anything would they expect from the National Consultative Council? What? What has the National Consultative Council done in the past?
That should lead
where,
us.
for example, court at the highest level,
now,
at the highest level, has said that things have gone wrong, that reforms should be done. But the court has repeatedly said reforms should be done, and they haven't been done.
How?
So what do you mean how? When you don't do, there is no how.
What I'm saying,
you have just refused to do. So Bamwine, why would I really spend time writing to a body which has not given any result anywhere? Why do you keep repeating?
You know, in Uganda here, there is a proverb: omulimba omuwerekera
Pakawa.
If I was them, like as I'm posing it, I would have written to these relevant organizations or bodies, government bodies, and they will say, on this date we presented our memorandum or petition, nothing happened.
We have.
Then you have a reason.
We have. To speak like I'm speaking, I have written to Human Rights Commission.
You see,
That's why we...
If what we are trying to fight for public space, and if you have not formally complained, how would I know that Nalongo PFF have issues that have not been attended to, if there's nothing formal. You mentioned about the constitutional rulings.
The court rulings, many.
Actually, they were advices, not rulings.
No, there have been rulings also.
Yes, advices.
No, there have also been
An
rulings.
advice is not a directive.
No, Fred.
Yes.
Fred, I know.
Yes.
That we can have
Yes.
we can have capacity
Yes.
to argue around technical things, and time gets finished.
And time gets finished, and this is what he's doing.
That's a great
And this is what he's doing. Because you are speaking to an individual
Because you see,
who has petitioned police, who has
what I'm
petitioned.
raising it, once court has given a ruling, there must be how it should be implemented. For instance, assuming there was a ruling, government must do this, or shall, which is a must. Then there must also be a provision of where the funds to implement that will come from. It's not like these are not godly things. They are earthly. It is only in heaven where you direct things and they happen. But here,
Anyway, I am a moderator of the program. I have my understanding.
His borders
once
with
you
an
have-
intent to annoy.
once you have given a ruling, you must also have a provision. Where is the budget? Should we stop?
If you had
health?
my senior sister
Should we stop
Patembe here, they would be
education?
fighting.
So,
He has mastered the art of annoying you out of seriousness, and you begin to,
so that's how we are running a country.
Don't host him
A country must be
Don't
run.
host him with Miriam.
And these they are
They are going to beat each other.
relatives. They won't quarrel.
They will quarrel very much.
Don't refer to somebody, don't choose somebody necessarily, really. So really, to me, as far as I'm concerned, but the issue I'm trying to bring out, this country belongs to all of us all. And I have an assumption that every right-thinking Ugandan wishes Uganda well. And that's why I work in government. That's why I'm saying, also government is not perfect. But where things have not gone well, I call my sister, come and we dialogue. Fortunately, I'm placed at a higher level. Let's have a document to executive and say, these are the concerns of my sister, or they may be even the
Other
party.
people.
Then we
And
can,
the public.
out of the executive and us, we can get out a better solution. My disagreement and my discouragement, don't incite people to go into violence. Because once fire has started, there is no winner in a thinking boat.
So would you choose them
I-
of not having attempted
Yes.
to do dialogue?
If they didn't know, I'm part of government, engage me. At least I represent the executive. I'll take the proposals and say, I met my sister Narongo, and these are her issues. Maybe if the executive doesn't respond, then maybe I will be with her at that time. But what I'm trying to discourage is to think that we're at the crossroad, there's no direction, the country is not moving anywhere. My only disagreement is for you to come out as Democrats and then you violate the rules and guidelines and then you claim to be Democrats and say, no, then you are wrong people. If EC has wrong guidelines, even that are not following the law, you are a highly educated person. I would by now have seen you challenging EC either formally with them or even through court and say no, according to these guidelines and a constitutional. But now if you have not done that, and then we come to family TV and we lament, are we helping a country? And me, as far as I'm concerned, all these operations you are seeing, for instance, of security, they are all intelligence-led operations. And unfortunately, intelligence is not shared. It is only given to the consumer. It is even not taken to court. What goes to court is evidence. You may find that they have information about Narongo, that she's disguising to come and make campaigns in Kampala Central, but her intention is actually to incite people. And once the intelligence has picked it, unfortunately they'll frustrate you.
And the word incite has been used, of course, in counter accusations between
But engage,
opposition
engage.
and
No,
security.
No, even people in government can.
They are saying
like,
stones have
campaign
been
now.
thrown, and we cannot dispute entirely. We've seen some videos where probably a frustrated youth has thrown an object. But let's again.
So what's your advice to that youth?
You were continuing with your point first. First finish that point.
Yes, the word incite being used by both ends. Security saying these ones are inciting violence. These ones saying no, it's security that starts it. We move out safely. We begin off in a peaceful manner, and they come and start it. Counter accusations. Can we begin to see action by EC? Disqualify who you think is heading the diversions from the known law.
That's why
Disqualify them. Let's see action. But then you see the language, the word he used, they are toothless to bite.
Who said?
EC, our moderator mentioned that could EC be indeed one toothless one? They just bite.
No, but the way there have been public statements by some of the political players, and they call the EC toothless. There are some who claim that they have actually written petitions.
If I was
And the
And
petitions
the
haven't-
EC has not.
If I was EC, I would disqualify anybody who calls me incompetent.
No, well,
If I was EC,
that's why you are not EC.
I would start with that. Then you feel that I'm competent.
That's why you are not EC. And
There-
so, yes.
But really, EC must up its game.
Not just
Secure the
EC,
country.
most institutions, the police, court, we have petitioned. And you are saying, bring out your grievances. As an individual, I think I have countless petitions going to the police on brutality.
Can I be your pattern in that?
Being police brutality, the Commission on Human Rights. It's not that we haven't written these formal complaints. We have. And out of habit, we have been ignored. Police will tell you if you have a grievance to air, if you have a common reason to bring you together to convene as disgruntled people, inform us. I have informed the police prior to going for some action that I thought was necessary.
Yeah, have you even petitioned to police standard unit?
Yes.
And they have not acted?
I have a lot. Police
Can you-
standards, headquarters, whatever the Human Rights Commission, just after years they will trash something, not just the,
But I've seen police
Parliament.
officers
We have
appearing in
petitioned
British
Parliament. It is something that brings people to speak the language of the unheard. It comes after a build-up of trying the dialogue.
But they act.
You make it. Rarely. I've just
Yeah, at
mentioned
least that rare
something.
thing you are
You have
recognize it.
So, I told you that Bamwine is a clever debater. And he will interact
just,
you. I need to protect
and
you.
make all of
Bamwine,
it
let's
very-
allow.
and make all of it.
Let's allow Mwafrika explain her frustration with the petitions she has done, and they have not been.
But she
acted
said
upon.
some have been worked on.
Not at all.
You are changing your statement now?
Very rare. Very rare.
So
Very rare, like a wrong
now,
clock, maybe once.
This is what is keeps coming up. So, with all this frustration piling up, is that sometimes why we see a flare of violence?
Yes, let me tell you that we are talking of election violence. We are talking only about what gets seen in the campaign trails and whatnot. There is unspoken violence. There is violence that's not, you can't point at it, that it's here, but it's happening. Intended directly at pushing us out of the race before we even join it. In the communities there. You go to where you work, you are facing near evictions, you are facing intimidation from, landlords, you are facing intimidation from, you have supporters fearing to appear with you. We support you, but yes, I'll keep this in my court. People's minds are already tuned to what has happened over and over. People's minds are already, being set that unless you are supporting this particular group, you are not free to express yourself on who else you are supporting. Otherwise, you get into trouble. Mr. Bamwine, cautioning the youth is very important. It's very good. Coming out in a voice that is just out to kusajula embera, scare. Tell them why they need to do this and not this. Ask why they have come out to do what you think is violence or may it lead to violence, and not listened to leaders and channeled their grievances the way you are saying it. Ask why. Ask why. You cannot completely sweep away their grievances, their unemployment, the sufferings of their parents, not being listened to, being arbitrarily arrested, being scared directly on TV. Say it and I'll mention it. Misleading
of some political leaders misleading the youth. I want to give an example. You saw a parade that was in Kavule. So some participants have approached me. And they said, for us, we never knew that conducting a military parade required government permission. And you can see just innocent people. But in the penal code, it is very clear, straightforward. Anybody to get involved, for section 48 of the penal code, anybody who organizes military drills must get permission from the Ministry of Internal Affairs. It's in the penal code. Failure to do that, if you are convicted, 7 years. And why don't you also say that some leaders, and by that it's across the aisle, mislead these innocent youth and lure them to break the law? And that's why I'm saying I'm calling even the government. You know, there's something I have not mentioned to you, Richard. I'm now an internationally certified arbitrator and a mediator.
Wow. And
I'm ruling government. I'm saying, okay, the laws are saying that. But there are many ways of skinning a goat. If these youth can own that they were misled, what happened was wrong, can't we chart out a better way of handling such a situation? It has already happened.
You know, the public is also asking, why are the leaders at this parade? Because it is said, I wasn't at the parade, I haven't really paid so much attention on who was there, but it is said, names are mentioned, the one Nyanzi, the leader of the party, they were there. Why are you going for the smallest rats in the room?
When I had a news bite. When
the public is asking, it's not even me. Why are the leaders at the parade not being touched?
He said, no. They asked me about who were in the parade, and I gave out the list. So his work, he finished his work.
Wow.
It is him, not anybody else. But also you are saying,
they have a leader. Why isn't the leader?
Saying, why is government not arresting the other one? It's like this man in Ankole there. There was a man called Quinini. He used it to steal cows. So one time they arrested a Bamwine with a stolen cow. And he said, worship. Really? You have, how unfair are you? How can you arrest me for having stolen one cow when you have never arrested Quinini, who has been stealing
cows?
Every dog has its own day. You never know what security is waiting for. So haven't you had, why did they arrest somebody in Mbarara who committed an offense in January? Haven't you heard about it? So it's not that they say today it is so and so and so and so. No, it depends. That's why I said all these operations are intelligence-led operations. It depends on what.
So respond to this, and you know it has been around because you know we are also on similar groups.
that you have a similar parades. There is no evidence that the other parade in another color has had permission. They can do their parade, and
No,
this one,
that's not true.
I'm saying that's the that's the allegation.
Allegation from the public.
So your comment is that that's not true.
No, according to the penal code, for you to conduct any military parade or military-like parade, you need a permission from the minister. I've been another DC. You know, security remained with central government. Schools, they do mchaka parades. They normally get the permission from the RDC. There is no school which has conducted those activities without permission. The only difference is that people don't know. They see people parading without knowing that they have got authorization. And once you have not seen the minister denying, it means he has operated. Me, if I was an active, like as I was telling her, I would also demand to know, did the minister allow that group? If I was, but nobody I think has managed to ask. But as far as I'm concerned, anybody to conduct drills on military parade like must get permission from government.
We do not have a lot of time
left.
I really want us to conclude on this matter, and I would like us to conclude this way. What would you advise the Electoral Commission to do for it to pull up its socks? Because both of you agree that if the Electoral Commission has any socks, they need to pull them up. You are in the race as a candidate, but you're also an activist. What would you advise this Electoral Commission to do?
Electoral Commission needs to live by its mission statement, needs to live by the words, conduct a free and fair election, and that needs to start now, not waiting for polling day. Electoral Commission needs to be man enough, or woman enough.
That's a good one.
To be woman enough to look and say, hey, look, Mwami Tuhaburwa, here your group did wrong. This is warning card. He called it yellow. It has, it should be woman or man enough to say, Chagulanyi or Mugatugwabata, here you haven't done well. It is the first warning. The last warning, knock somebody out of this race, even if it's me no longer. If I'm caught where I was cautioned, I might collide there with another sister, let me get a warning, a befitting warning. If I'm a repeating offender, I can be put out of the race. This is when the public will begin to take this institution serious. This is when anything their mission statement talks of will be believed in. But short of that, people will just continue to look at it as partisan, as one that is favoring one side, as one that actually probably has an already finished outcome, but they're just playing with us here, trap us, pick the most vocal ones, lock them away as we conclude our thing. As a candidate for Kampala District, woman representative to Parliament, I encourage Ugandans indeed to engage in a very peaceful campaign. Let's support who we support in a manner that doesn't violate others' rights, the rights of those that may not be supporting us. Let them also remain upheld. I call on Ugandans with repeating that silence is where all these escalations we are crying about thrive. Speak up. I will tell leaders like Bamwine that the enemy is the one that is pressed and oppressed and abused and remains silent with it. The person to fear is that one that's oppressed and suppressed and would rather keep quiet about it. The best mind is that one that comes out and says, no, for me this one here, I refuse. And you refuse publicly. So do not make enemies of people that refuse situations publicly. They are not refusing with a stone or a gun. Indeed, let the word that you and I have used very commonly tonight, dialogue, let listening to dissenting voices be encouraged, not discouraged. Let's not punish people for speaking out. And maybe then we will begin to see youth that are not going to be misled into doing what won't be helpful to them.
Thank you.
Thank you.
EC, my friend Baguma, if I was him, I would make history. Disqualify a candidate.
Even if it
A
means
presidential candidate.
Yes. Have my grounds clear, lay it down. Because this is what calls you. That's your mandate. But also I want to remind EC that this election process has a lot of security implications. If we don't handle elections well, this country can go into flames.
God forbid.
So the reason why the EC is paid for 5 years when there are even no major activity is to allow them time to prepare better. So we expect them to have done their homework in the last 5 years. This is the climax. So if people are belligerent and they don't want to follow the law, it is their work. They are not doing us a favor. No, they are paid to do that work. Fortunately, there is simple. It's not like being another DC. Because being another DC, you are handling every jargon. But this one, their work is cut out clearly. And even the guidelines, the electoral guidelines, electoral laws are also there. If a candidate do this, this is what will happen. So the more they relax, I can tell you politicians will take them for granted. And also they may not know, or they may know, election in Uganda, unfortunately, has become ugly. Initially, elections were a method of electing leaders who are going to serve the people. But it's now the other way around. I can tell you 90% of people in elections now are jobbists. They are looking for a job.
It's a commercialized,
the most
ugly.
paying high job. So people have sold their properties. It's a do and die. So in that situation, if you don't raise your finger high, we are going to lose many lives. In Makinde here on Friday, 2 groups of candidates in one party from one party collided and life was lost, and nobody's talking about it.
In Makinde.
Makinde, Wansanso zone. The team of Aran and the team of Ruirika, they collided and life was lost.
I didn't know
So
that.
it is something very serious because people are not going to serve. I wish I had the power. I would reduce all salaries of political leaders.
It's what we are coming to do.
Like, for instance, I would say, member of parliament, 5 million. You will not see any
You won't see
competition.
this stampede.
You get good leaders.
You
who
get
are coming to serve the
volunteers.
people. But now,
They will oppose you. I can tell you. But on that point, we hope that we can have a return to what was quote unquote a boring, a violence-free electoral process, and we can complete and not reap violence even post-election. I would like to thank you very much and wish you well in your race for the woman MP for Kampala.
but she has not asked me for
Asked
the vote.
for the vote.
No, you are not
And
a
I'm a
Kampala
voter.
Are you?
You are not
Yes.
even
Oh,
a
okay,
voter.
but they don't
Child.
ask for that. They don't ask for that on air. We are not providing that platform.
Don't let EC.
But
EC might come for us.
but remember,
Okay. But on that note, we thank you so much. And thank you, Fred Bamwine, for always responding to our call. Thank you, Mwafrika, Nana,
Nalongo, Mbarikiwa,
and the other names. Yes. Thank you very much for coming and sharing your perspectives. Baguma Kinkasimini Richard, I'm thanking you for staying with us, the viewers, my team in the production side that have been ensuring that things come to you. And we are back here next week, inshallah, with yet another edition of the Ballot 2026. And we say that this program for us is very important because we would like every one of us to participate in the election. We must be part of those who are guiding and contributing to the governance of ourselves, of our country for the next 5 years and beyond. And so please don't go away. Keep tuned to our programs, but prepare and keep alert. Keep participating in the electoral processes in the campaigns as they go on, and please go and cast your ballot when the day comes. Thank you and have a good night.